Hello guys, I'm back again with yet another controller video. I don't know what to say, I guess I'm just into controllers lately. I will review some other things coming real soon, but right now I have another controller that I really wanted to try. This is, as you can see, the blue upgraded EMIO Elite controller for PS4. You may have heard of the black one. I myself owned a black EMIO very recently, and it's a funny story actually. So I got it out of the box and it felt pretty good. There's a lot of reviews on YouTube about the black one just not being very great. Not in terms of feel, but in terms of the way it connected to the PS4. There having to be a firmware update that wasn't easily found or easy to do. So I plugged the USB dongle in that it comes with, and it seemed to work okay, but it just wasn't very accurate. Like, I was testing out some guns in like Call of Duty, and the sticks like just weren't really accurate. They kind of felt like the wired controller that I did in my last video, just not great for like really precise movements and aiming and shooting games. But I didn't do the firmware update yet, and so I tried to plug it in, the dongle into the computer. I did everything it said, you know, holding the reset button, and it wouldn't connect properly. So I waited till the program was done. I tried exiting out of it, and I thought it was okay to unplug it and try plugging it in again. And I must have done something wrong because it completely bricked the dongle. There's like an LED light on it that's supposed to flash red. It completely shut off, would not turn on plugging into the computer or the console. So I do not know what happened. The controller was fine, you know, the controller's light bar lit up, but the dongle was completely useless. And because of that, the controller, you know, is rendered useless because it has no other way of connecting. So with that out of the way, I'm kind of having high hopes for this upgraded blue one. You know, it's in a lot nicer blue color too. I kind of like that. And so I thought I'd do a little unboxing of it, and in terms of how it feels and looks, it's probably the same as the black one. You know, obviously it's just a different color, and I'm gonna go over what it does. It has the 4 paddles on the back, and so just like my last video, I'm just gonna unbox it really quick, and then I'm gonna play with it for a little bit and see if it's really worth the money. So yes, let's get into this. So this is actually what it looks like. It's magnetized. It has the magnet thing. It looks really premium when you unbox it. I must say, like, it looks like it would be really expensive. It's like a plastic film. And all right, let's unbox it fully now. All right, so this is what you get in the box. The 4 rubber grips that come for the analog sticks just fell out, as you can see those there. But yeah, this is everything that comes with it. This is the interchangeable D-pad that you can put on. I haven't got a lot of use with that, but I'll see if I like that. These are your sticks. They magnetize to the you know, the base of the analog stick. It's the rubber part. And these are the 4 paddles. If you didn't know, this is like a pro controller because, like a scuff controller, it has the ability to use back buttons on the back of it to control the face button. So again, I've not really experienced with that, but I'd like to see if it would improve my game at all. Those are kind of hard to get out. So now the actual controller, in my experience, these are hard to get out. It's really stuck in there. Give me a second. So I don't want to break it, right? So I'm trying to see how I could get it out without breaking it. Alright, so after getting some industrial tools, I got it out. No, I'm kidding, but it was really hard. I guess it's secured in there well. So as far as the feel goes, it's about the same as the previous model. It doesn't feel much different. In fact, I'm gonna get the black EMIO, and okay, so this is the black one and the blue one. They're like the same thing. Let me put the sticks on the blue one. Similar, there's nothing different. The grips are still black. I like the rubber grips on it. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Alright, so again, these are the rubber grips that for the analog sticks that you get. They're just like the ones you get with the black one. There's no difference. They're not like, they're kind of like Control Freaks. They're just a little lower, and they're made of rubber, and they're kind of flat with like rubber dots. You can hear it's textured at the top. There's like little dots sticking up for your thumb. This is a regular, not a Control Freak, but it's for the PS4. And for reference, they're kind of like not the same. Oh shit. They're not the same height, but It will give you a little more grip. In fact, hold on. This is also a different kind of Control Freak or other brand analog stick, extension you can get, and that's the size difference. So, what else do you get in the box? You get the charging cable. This isn't to plug in to use for the console, it's just to charge it. Yeah, so, and then you get, the manual. And so what this paper I think is telling me is that you can reprogram the back paddles on the controller. I didn't know, I don't think that was in the black version. I didn't check. I should probably look back in the box. Maybe that's what they meant by upgraded. I didn't think you could reprogram the back paddles to have other functions besides the 4 face buttons, but this says you can also program the bumpers and triggers, so I'm gonna check that out for sure. And of course, these are your 4 paddles that go on the back and the D-pad. I'm gonna put the paddles on and we're gonna see how those work. So I would make a video, or I would, cut to a part of me showing you how the paddles work, but it's self-explanatory. I might cut to it, but we'll see. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the paddles on. Again, I haven't really used them that much. I didn't get a chance to try them out with this black one that the dongle bricked on. But I'm gonna see how this controller feels. I'm gonna play with it before I actually give you my full review on it. And yeah, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so before I give you my final opinion on the controller, I just wanted to demo the paddles really quick. They're pretty self-explanatory, like I said, but just to show you guys what they do. So I'm in some Modern Warfare Remastered right now. And so let's see, you just fire with the triggers, right? And then you want to reload. So right now I have it set to the face buttons. You can't change which face buttons correspond to which paddle, but you can change it so the paddles switch to the triggers. So in other words, they do the functions that the triggers would. So let's say I'm just firing in here, right? And then I want to reload. Instead of hitting square, I would hit the back left paddle, I think it is. Yeah, and it just reloads for you. And it's just a little faster than, taking your hand off the right stick, right? And then this next feature, I'm pretty sure I'm under the impression that it was not on the black model, but it is on this blue model, which you can't see because it's kind of dark with this lighting. But so I hold the L3 stick down and then the D-pad down for like 2 seconds, it said. Now the L1 or the back paddles are aim and fire. The 2 top ones are, and so that means the 2 back ones, so I have it set to tactical, that's crouch. And actually all that did was it made the 2 top paddles control the aim and fire. It didn't actually change the bottom ones. The bottom right paddle is still set to crouch, which is circle, and then the bottom left one doesn't do anything. So it's interesting how it does that. And of course, if you want to switch it back to just controlling the face, all 4 face buttons, you hold L3 and then up for about 2 seconds, and it's back to controlling the face buttons, jump and reload and whatnot. So anyway, that's just a quick demo. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give you my final kind of verdict and opinion on the controller. So I guess I'll just go through a quick rundown of all the buttons and stuff. So the face buttons are cool, they have a nice spring to them. They're also flat. It's flashing because I'm pressing it. But if I get the DualShock here, you can see the comparison. They're pretty much the same height. I like having flat face buttons as well. And now that I have the DualShock, quick side-by-side comparison, it's almost the same. The grips are a little thicker, I would say, and they also have a rubber grip, which is a little nicer than the DualShock. And I actually think it's a little lighter than the DualShock. Not by much, but just a little. Alright, so you have the share and options buttons. They're pretty cool because they have a little groove in them, so like in the dark you actually know you're hitting them, so that's good. The touchpad, it's pretty smooth. It looks like it has a little texture on it, but it's almost completely smooth. It works fine. I was using it in the playroom and to type messages, and it works just fine. It also works as a button too. And the home buttons there, it's kind of flat. It's a little awkward to reach because the sticks are kind of tall, so it's just something to get used to. There is a speaker, I'm assuming, because there's holes there. I didn't test it out. I didn't have any games to test that out with, but I'm assuming it's there and it works. There's no headphone jack, if you didn't know. I use USB headset, so it doesn't matter for me, but if that's something that is serious for you, then maybe you shouldn't get this controller. However, in my next video or my coming videos, I'm going to show you how you can use any 3.5 headset on your PS4 using USB and not through the controller. So anyway, back to the controller. The D-pad is it's fine. You know, I have the regular one in right now. Let me go get the platter one. All right, so here's the platter one, and it works fine. I never really felt the need to have a round one. I don't know why that would be any more helpful. I don't know, I guess for like rolling between the two. It's magnetic, it's removable, it's not gonna fall out unless you actually take it out. And something I noticed about the D-pad is that it's actually really sensitive. Like, you barely have to put any pressure, and it's before you actually think you're triggering it, you already are. It's not a bad thing, I think it's actually good, it's just something to get used to. The L1 and R1, I like the fact that they're mechanical. As you can hear, they're just a simple, like a mouse click button, and that's cool. I think a lot of controllers should go towards the mechanical feel, and I know one of the licensed pro controllers for PS4 has like mechanical buttons, and I really like that feel. But I did notice actually that the L1 and R1, even though they are mechanical, you actually you have to press kind of hard for them, just harder than you think, to trigger in game. Sometimes if you're like, I was aiming in Call of Duty, I was holding L1 down, and it kind of, if I held it lightly, it would flicker on and off, like it would go in and out of aiming instead of, you know, just staying completely aimed down. So you just have to hold it a little harder sometimes. The triggers are cool. I didn't notice nothing wrong with the back triggers. The trigger stops work fine as well. If you don't want to push your trigger down all the way, that's halfway, and then you can take it off, and that's all the way. So, and then the back paddles, I wish they were a little smaller. If you grip the controller, like if you grab it with any sort of force, you're gonna hit the buttons by accident. I don't think I'm gonna be using them that much. I'm probably just gonna take them out. But the last thing is the sticks, and I'm kind of disappointed by these, just the way these work. First of all, I don't get why they're removable. You know, they're magnetic, like the D-pad, but you know, the D-pad, you have two interchangeable ones, so it makes sense. It only comes with one pair of sticks, so why you'd want to remove them, I don't really know. I don't know if there's one sold separately online, but it only comes with one pair, so there's no reason to remove them. But anyway, if you were wondering, this is like a cover for the PS4 analog stick. They don't actually fit. They're a little smaller in circumference than the DualShocks, so like it'll sit on top, but if you tilt it, it'll just fall right off like that. So again, with the sticks, I'm kind of disappointed. Like, they're much like the previous controller I reviewed, the wired one, which was very cheap, right? This controller is a lot more expensive, so you'd think they'd put a little more time into the sticks, especially because it's a pro controller with paddles. You know, you think the point is to improve the quality of your gameplay, right? So why wouldn't the sticks be a focal point of their development in it? I don't know, but they're just not as accurate as the DualShocks are, as the stock Sony controller. And another thing is, since they're magnetic, they're not completely solid to the base. They just wiggle a little bit, and you can't really see it. You can kind of hear it though, and you'll really notice it when you're moving it in a circle. It just slightly comes off the base a little bit. There's an easy fix to that, which I might do. You might not be into this, but since I like to fix things myself, you could probably drop like a tiny bit of like hot glue or just really strong super glue in there, magnetize it back to the base, and it probably would not wiggle at all. Again, that's just me. And can I recommend this controller? I think I can. I don't really understand the price point though. It's pretty expensive. It's kind of new. It's only on Amazon right now, and so I don't know if it's going to be cheaper on any other site, but I'm not too fond of the price. I think it shouldn't be that much more expensive than the DualShock. If even that, it should be like the same price, because you're getting extra function, you know, with the back buttons, but kind of less function with the sticks, and which is like a very key part. I don't think it's a bad product. It has a lot of bad reviews on YouTube. I think people were expecting a lot more than what they got. Their hopes were set too high. I think that's just what the problem is. But you have to know what you're buying. By the way, the light bar is right here, and there's where you charge it. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to have around. It should be fine for any game that's not a first-person shooter where you need to be dead-on accurate, you know? It's not impossible to play shooters, but it's just not ideal, and I wouldn't recommend it. But anything else, I think, is fine. And so if you want to buy this controller, I'll leave a link in the description to it on Amazon, which I think is the only place you can buy it right now. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my coming videos.